Welcome to Conversations That Coach. We are here filming in studio at City Furniture. So excited to be here. I'm Stephanie Quinu alongside Melissa Hicks and Cynthia Blackwell. We, of course, are coaches in our own right, but not only that, we're moms, we're business owners, we're wives, we're trying to juggle it all, like I'm sure you are as well. And that's what I love about the show, because it's all about empowerment.
Yes.
And insight and inspiration. And you actually picked this show's topic, which I love because it's something we can all relate to.
Absolutely.
Which is the work-life balance. Is it fact or is it fiction?
Well, I say it's fiction. There is no such thing as work-life balance. It's work-life management more. Don't you agree, Miss Melissa?
Yeah, I definitely picked the topic because I know what a struggle I've had throughout my life. And I know the struggles other women have with just managing everything that's going on. So I like to call it work-life prioritization. But It can be management, but at the end of the day, it's not balance because there really is no such thing.
So I have a question for you, because I know we were talking about, work-life balance, how that doesn't exist. Was there a singular aha moment when you thought, this isn't working, this is a challenge?
Yeah, for sure. I think about that all the time, actually, and I can still feel that moment. And it was so emotional for me. But my husband and I, it was my first marriage. We had so much debt. I had no college degree, and I was working in retail for a big box retailer, but they were growing, and I had a lot of opportunity for promotion in that company, and I'd gotten an opportunity to be a store manager. Well, it was 2 hours from where I was working at the time. So I had to move there temporarily. So I was in a hotel, and I'd been there at the new store probably about 6 weeks. My husband showed up with my son, and he was probably about 7 or 8 months at the time, and he wouldn't go to me. And it just still really gets me emotional to think about when you're in those situations. And we've all, as moms, have been in those situations where, what do? You're providing for your family. And, you get through it, and eventually they moved, but it never leaves. It's always like that you feel like a failure. What could I have done differently?
The feeling of guilt.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The feeling of guilt.
It is. But what I'll tell you is when I got pregnant with my daughter, which was about 6 years later, it hit me. And I said, I can't do this again. I was working 60, 70 hours a week, and it was so demanding. I was never really present with my family. And I didn't want to do that with her because I missed so many amazing moments with my son. And I didn't. I made a big, huge decision, and you guys can relate when you're promoting and going through the ranks, and you have to sometimes make that decision to take a step back. It was not easy, but I did it, and I'm so grateful and thankful that I did, but it was very difficult.
It's scary, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, make me want to cry.
I mean, there's a massive amount of fear that if I say no, or if I stand up for my compass, right, or my internal moral compass, it won't be appreciated. In fact, we'll be punished. I think there's a lot of fear of punishment, of retribution. As women, a lot of people just don't understand, or they don't care.
Well,
right?
Men, no offense, but men don't have to make those tough decisions because us women are the ones that are, the maternal. Okay, so I have a question. Stephanie, you're in the throes of things, okay?
Yes, I am.
You still have 2 little ones at home, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. So how are you prioritizing, managing, balancing, work life? How's that working for you?
Well, there's a pause. There's a deep breath. Because I'm still on that journey.
Yeah.
But it's being very intentional, I feel like, in the beginning of the day, to be mindful. And I'm not always mindful because it's very easy, right? We get wrapped up so much into it and we forget. And then at the end of the day, you realize I didn't prioritize well.
You gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, but I mean, and how often have I had that conversation? Again, this is a learning experience, but my husband's like, that's not working. That's not working. I don't feel like you are prioritizing in a way I feel that is beneficial to you, but also to the family. And I've had those conversations with him as well. But I do feel like as a woman, it's been really hard. And in my professional career, because I did 19 years of TV news, which is incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
And I sacrificed to the detriment of a lot of other areas of my life. God bless my husband for sticking through 16 of those years. It's not easy.
Right.
Well, we all need a support system and
Yes.
those accountability partners in
Yes.
life, right?
But I've had several of those aha moments where I have thought I was succeeding in this great, great way. And there was actually a time, so I was on my own. I was living on my own, right? I moved away for professional reasons. I was in Cleveland. It was torrential rain. This was the night of my very first Emmy Award ceremony.
Wow.
Oh.
So, right, a big deal. My husband couldn't go. So I went with my work husband and his parents, and I won. I won my very first Emmy.
Oh.
And it was probably one of the biggest highs of my life.
Sure.
Aww.
And then I found myself driving home alone in the pouring rain to a dark, empty apartment. And I had to call my husband, who was at work, and he could not celebrate because he was at work. And I had half a glass of wine, and I was so sad that I went to bed on what was supposed to have been
Okay, I know
Right?
you're crying now.
the best night of my life.
Yes.
I wish I would have known you then, because I would have come over.
Yeah, right?
would have
I
finished
mean,
the bottle of wine.
Yeah.
it was a great party. There was an after party at the science aquarium, and but I was like, I'm ready to call it a night. And I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, I have this award that I've worked so hard for, and I have
Right.
no one to share it with,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
sadly, that was not the only aha moment, right? It was like, oh, I got this. But again, it's just
Yeah.
realizing,
Yeah.
right? There's no such thing as balance. You got
There's
to
not.
prioritize. And there's a lot of fear involved. And
Yep.
so I made a decision, not that night, but again, as I got more courageous, not to let fear be the driving factor in deciding important decisions.
Well, fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real, right? So,
Yeah.
boy, I think it's good that all throughout now, I have more maturity years on you two
Right.
ladies,
Yep.
but for me, I've constantly had different aha moments
Yep.
in my life that jar me back to square one, so to speak, so we can get back to the basics. So I think that's a good thing. To have those, little aha moments and those jarring moments, and then also having a strong support system around us, those accountability partners to really uplift us, help us, and say, hey, listen, it's okay, it's gonna get better. Let's
Yeah.
get back to doing the things that you need to do, and it starts in the morning. We've had this conversation before about it's got to start in the morning, right?
Yep.
It's got to start in the morning. What we do in the morning.
Yep. That's why I love how our topics all fall in line with each other. But so let's ask. So we want to hear your story, Cynthia. I mean, you have 6 adult kids,
Yeah.
10 grandbabies.
Yeah.
So how
And I'm doing this. Oh, I want more to spoil. So when the kids were little, so 5 girls, 1 boy. So when the kids were little, yes, I experienced, some of the things that both of y'all shared. But now it's prioritizing and balancing and knowing what their love language is. Remember, there's 5 love languages, and knowing what mine is. My husband's is quality time, so balancing that with him too, because we're empty nesters. So life for him, it's all about him, what I'm cooking for him and what I'm doing for him. But the kids, so, my daughters and the kids. So I go get my grandson 1 day a week, the baby who's 6 months old now. Oh, he's so fat and delicious. I could just dip him in ranch and eat him. And then, the other grandkids, spending time with them on a Saturday, or the next group on a Sunday. So literally being intentional and strategic about reaching out and going and picking them up and, playing with them outside and just, doing things with them. And then at the same time, balancing that out with hubby, because quality time is his love language, and he wants me to spend quality time with him. So,
And it's so important though, because I think, again, it's all about communicating with ourselves, but also communicating with our loved ones what their love language is. Because my love language may not be the same as someone else's. So it's prioritizing how to, connect with that love language.
Well, it's knowing what yours is, but paying attention to theirs, because this is how you give and receive love, not necessarily for them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, Oh, and then how about no? I can't do that. When someone comes and hits you up for something, what do?
It gets stuck in my throat. And then I say yes, and then I say yes, and then I regret it, but I can't reach out and take the note. No, I need it back. I know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on that, but yes, I'm a people pleaser, and that's like a whole other show, right?
Yeah, that's a whole other show.
I mean, it's to the detriment, right? Like there's a fear, right? But you know what? I had this
of disappointing people,
right? But you know what? I had this aha moment as I was thinking about this the other day. Is that I tend to say no, probably to the wrong people, right? And it's more so in my professional life. And I think again, there's fear as a woman, right? Like I can't say no in my professional life, but I need to do that and then say yes more in my personal, maybe, right? It's just yes.
See, I can't tell my daughter or my grandkids no. When they call and say, Mimi, can I come over? I go, yes, of course, my handsome little prince. Of course.
Yeah, how do you say no to the grandkids? There's no way, right?
Well, here's no.
Yes.
So here's what I do. I don't like the word no. I don't use the word no. I even tell the little grandkids when they go, no, Mimi. I say, Mimi doesn't like that word. Mimi likes yes, Mimi. So instead of saying no, I'll give you an example. Use other words. So the other day, someone asked me if I could please join a committee for an event that was coming up. Now, while I love the organization and I would love to support, I'm looking at my capacity, and everything that I have to do or everything that I do is got to be top notch, right? Give it your all, do your best, or don't do it. Right? Daddy always said, don't do a half, ass job. And so for me, my response was this: thank you so much for thinking of me. I'm flattered. I'm honored. The best way for me to support the event and support success would be not to sit on the committee, but to be a supporter of the event. I can introduce you to people. I can send people your way. I could potentially even talk to some of my clients or contacts about being a sponsor or an auction item, but sit on the committee and commit to that time and energy. That is not the best thing for you and for the event.
You had said this, I think this was before we
So
started
I said
filming.
no without saying no.
But you say give people options, right? It's not a no. It's a, well, I can do this or I can do this, but
Which
I
is
can't
better
do
for
this,
you.
right? So
Exactly.
it's like, maybe not the best time, but here are some options. So they don't feel like you're saying no.
Absolutely.
Because you're still saying yes to something.
And then I don't feel
Right?
guilty because, like you, I'm a people pleaser. I serve everyone that I possibly can, and I want to give. I'm a giver. The more I give, the more I receive. The more I receive, the more I give. So
Yeah.
that's one way of doing it. Do you say no?
I'm getting better. It's tough too. I'm like her. I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
But I love your example because I think anyone can use that. It's like, it's saying no, but it's like thanking them for thinking of you.
Well, you're
right?
couching it in a compliment, right?
Yeah,
And everyone
exactly.
wants
I like
to be
that.
complimented.
Couching it in a compliment.
Couching it in a compliment.
Yeah.
Couch the no in a compliment.
Couch the
Yes.
no.
I love
Okay,
it.
so the reason why I shared that is because for me, I found that I have got to prioritize what my commitments are and not overcommit myself, because then I'm not doing a good job for anyone. So I'm taking that right back to you saying, for me, it's more like work-life prioritization.
Right.
What is most important to me and what is going to continue to support my success and the success of my endeavors.
Yes.
Right?
Prioritization
Yes.
is so important.
We have to.
Yes.
We have to.
Yeah, and when I think about work-life balance, though, I know there's probably single moms, there's people out there that are watching that might not necessarily have a support system, right? They don't have a spouse or family or people that can maybe support them. Maybe they've got kids and there's things they want to do. So what about support systems? Any recommendations or things people can do.
Well, absolutely. So again, knowing yourself, right? And what are the things that you need help with? And so number one is not feeling guilty about asking for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. The second thing is we always find what we're looking for. You need to identify what is it that I need? What support do I need in order for me to be the best mom, be the best friend, be the best, whatever that looks like. And then what do I need? And then go look for it, because you're going to find it if you ask.
Yeah.
People love to help other people. The chances of them saying no, like the three of
That's
us
true.
can't say
Yeah.
no,
Right.
they're probably not going to say no. So, ask.
Yeah. Don't be afraid
Ask.
to ask.
Don't be afraid to ask.
And don't be afraid to put yourself first, I think,
Oh.
is something that is also so important.
Yes.
So you need to be your own best support system. And,
Yes.
I've used this analogy a lot, but it's like being on an airplane, right? And of course, they always have those masks that come
Yes.
down. They always tell you, especially with me with little kids, they always say,
Yes.
Mom, put your own mask
Mask
on
on
first before you put someone else's oxygen mask on. But it's true. If you can't be in the moment, if you can't prioritize yourself, you're going to be no good to anyone else.
Yes.
So saying no is actually beneficial to not only yourself, but to everyone else,
Yes.
right? Because you're not going to be any good
Yep.
if you're overextended, overworked, and like you said, can't give it your all.
Can't give it your all, then
Yeah.
it's not healthy for
Yeah.
you. And
But
then
I-
you don't go to sleep feeling good.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know we could talk all day long
All day
about
long.
this, but you want to hit up the top
Okay.
the top highlights.
So here are our top 3 highlights for today that we would like for you to absorb and consider implementing. So number 1 is prioritizing. So then that way you can have healthy balance in life. The second thing is go ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And number 3, find accountability partners. Find your support system. Identify a minimum of 3 people. I love the magical power of 3, except when it comes to kids. I multiply it times 2 because I'm Catholic and Hispanic. But again, prioritize, ask for help, and then look for those accountability partners to support you and help your success.
Yes. And so the next time, we're talking about being intentional, setting that mindset every morning. And
Yes.
so next time, I've chosen next show's topic,
It's
which
gonna be
is
so good.
Yes, no, I'm excited. We're talking about missed opportunities, right? I mean, how many times have we been in a situation, had an opportunity, and we've missed out? And we're kicking ourselves and we're thinking, if only
If
I
only.
had,
Yes.
if only I did this. So we're going to talk about how to turn those missed opportunities into opportunities that make a difference. Maybe it makes you money, right? If you're a business owner. So I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I love it. So we're so excited. We just want to thank City Furniture. We want to thank our partners and our sponsors. We couldn't do this without them.
No, we could not.
Beautiful showroom here at City Furniture. Of course, our live audience. Also, 4 Rivers. They're giving us, if you say free cookie, right, Cynthia?
Free cookie, and I watched the show, Conversations
Yes.
That
Make
Coach.
sure you let them know you've watched the show, Conversations That Coach. You'll get a free cookie. Also want to thank the Beauty Society for giving us free gifts for our live audience and making us beautiful. So
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And Feather Dot Media Productions for making us look good on camera.
Yes, very important. We wouldn't have a show without them.
Absolutely. So have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time.